Hey guys, what I'm going to go over in this video is your interactive notebook. You will be getting one of these at the beginning of the school year, and really the idea with the interactive notebook is that it's all in this notebook. All the notes that we do, all the activities, if there's worksheets, and we're going to be doing a lot of things called processing activities in these. And so by the end of, say, the first semester, or when IB testing comes around, you are going to have essentially this Bible of all this information. And it isn't just notes, it's things that you have done to try to apply what we're learning in your own kind of unique way. Some of you are going to love this. It's super creative and artistic. And some of you are going to hate it because it isn't just where, I'm going to sit down on the lecture podium and bark at you guys. You're going to have to kind of think outside of the box and be creative. There might be poems that we might do in science, and so some of you who are more like me or more analytical, you kind of just like the facts. This might be a little bit of a struggle, but again, the whole idea is that you're going to retain the information better. So to start, the first thing that you guys are going to do is make this your own. So at some point, decorate your cover. Have your cover really be who you are. So obviously mine is very boring right now, but if it were my notebook as a student, I would be drawing things about maybe cross country or track or what I do outside of school. The second part that I wanted to go over is really kind of what makes up the inside of the notebook. So the biggest thing is going to be the general format of the notebook itself. And on the right-hand side, this is going to be reserved for the information. You guys are going to be responsible for pre-reads this year, and this is where you're going to be doing those. I did want to give you guys a little bit of advice on those, and I have some notes over here that I need to read off of. So my advice on your pre-reads is what you write down from the textbook, make that be one color. Make that be black or in pencil, whatever you prefer. Then when we revisit the notes, anything that I might hit on, like, hey guys, you really need to know this, you can either rewrite it in pen, red pen that is, or you can maybe circle it, really just to kind of make it pop when you are studying. You're like, hey, she mentioned that. That's something that I should really write down. And then the other type of color coding that you can do is maybe anytime we do any connections to real life, I give you guys an opportunity to reflect on how this applies to you, use blue pen. Obviously, you can change the colors if you'd like to. It doesn't have to be specifically that, but again, make this notebook your own. Make it something that you really value and you're going to use as a tool to study, not only for the test, but for the final and the IB exam as well. Another thing I did want to point out on the right-hand side is what's right up here, the title and objective. When we go over the Google Calendar, you'll notice that I have the title written out as well as the objectives, and I do expect you guys to write that down. That is going to be something that I look for when I do grade these notebooks. The next thing I wanted to go over is the left-hand side of the notebook. These are going to be even numbered, just like you would a book. Your right-hand side is odd, and then you turn the page, and then you'll be starting with the left-hand side, which would be even. These are going to be reserved for things that I call processing activities or left-hand side assignments. You'll hear me use both synonymously. The idea behind a processing assignment is literally to process the information. So we've done our pre-read, we've done the lecture notes, we've revisited it, and now all of a sudden we have like 10 new vocabulary words that we're supposed to memorize because learning science is like learning a new language. So we need a way to retain that information. We need to process it. So my notebook right now is kind of set up for already 2 weeks worth of work. One of my more favorite ones that it kind of is my go-to are something called visual vocab flip cards. You'll be introduced to these very soon, but again, the idea is that we're taking this really fancy word like hydrolysis, and we're breaking it apart. We're drawing a picture, we're writing out its definition, we're using it in a sentence so that every time you see hydrolysis for the rest of the semester, you know what it means. It's not, oh, what was that again? Oh, I need to put my phone out and Google search it and ask a neighbor. You've got it. It's there. You've memorized it. So I did want to go over the rubric in the back just real quick. It's pretty self-explanatory, but just know that we're going to be kind of doing assignments that are out of 3 points and 5 points, and don't be deceived by how little those are. It's really easy to kind of inflate those up to make this notebook worth more. The other big thing here too is that you guys are going to be doing peer evaluations a lot. So again, using this rubric as a tool, and I'll be helping you guys in the beginning on kind of what it looks like, what it doesn't look like, what a 5-point assignment is, what a 3-point assignment is, what a 0 is. There's 2 other things that I wanted to go over. One being the back page of the notebook. That is all the guidelines, the instructions. You guys can read that on your own. I'm not going to beat a dead horse, so to speak. There are 2 things that I really did want to go over. The biggest one is that you're responsible for this. You're responsible for the upkeep. If you miss a day, follow up with a peer, follow up with me. You guys need to make sure that in the question column, you are writing IB test caliber questions. That is going to be one of the things that I look for when I do collect these. The other part of this is down towards the bottom, the grading policy. I'm warning you guys now that I can collect these whenever I see fit. I might not even collect a whole class at a time. I might pick, hey, 5 kids, you guys are going to leave your notebooks with me tonight. So you need to be on top of it. If you aren't spending time over the weekend, maybe just kind of touching it up, finalizing stuff, then you're not doing it right. This is your warning, and I will be collecting them whenever, be prepared. That being said, it's very likely that what I might do is kind of sift through and pick 2 or 3 of your best work and then maybe 1 or 2 of your worst work and kind of find a grade in between those, 4 or 5 assignments to kind of give you an average. So if you want a high grade, make sure you finished everything. But if you haven't, just be prepared for your grade to drop. The last thing I wanted to say about this notebook is love it. Obviously, I've said make it your own. Really take care of it and put in the investment, because when it comes time to study for that IB exam, it will pay off hugely. Having it all there, having it all organized, you have this table of contents. If there was something that maybe you forgot from junior year when you're studying your senior year, it's there, it's organized, it's tabbed, it's perfect. So invest in it. And in addition to that, because it is organized and because it is so creative and your own, it's likely going to be something that you hold on to. I hope you do, especially if you're going to major in any form of science in college. A lot of college is the professor lectures and you're expected to know it, and they don't do these fun little processing activities, and you're going to have to figure it out on your own. And having a tool like this that maybe you can look back on, it can kind of remind you of some lower level concepts that will help you build the higher level concepts that you're going to get in college. I'll be honest, as an IB kid, after IB testing, I burned everything. And if I had something like this, I would have liked to think that I would have held on to it and could have used it in college when I really struggled in some of those higher level chemistry, biochemistry classes. So love it, treat it well, and use it as the tool that it is. It's a great tool to use, and I hope you guys really enjoy using it.